Hello. Okay. Hi. Welcome, everyone. Welcome. Thank you for tuning in. We're doing a Monday afternoon live stream of Cabs of Chaos. We're gonna basically pick up from where we left off with last stream, which if you didn't watch it, we got a section. Let me just jump in. We got a section of the map downtown built. Yeah, we built this little sort of park area opposite the section here. And it was great. It was a fun time. So if you joined and you watched that one, let me know. But yeah, it's good to see you. Thank you for tuning in. Let me know where you're watching from today. I always love to hear where you're tuning in from. So do please engage with the chat and say hi. I'm happy to answer any questions as we go through this today, or you know, just talk through things. But thank you for joining me to come hang out and develop the game. It's a day off here in Canada today, so I figure I'd take prime opportunity of... Wait, I take prime... Never mind. I would grasp at the opportunity to work on the game. So we're going to do that, and we're going to do it together today. So yeah, I guess we'll just kind of jump into it. What we're going to do today, well, I guess I'll show you what I've been working on. I've worked on the game a little bit since the previous stream. I'll get that tab open because that is always a good tab to have open. We did sort of this section. I don't know if we did this bit at the end of the stream, last stream. I think I worked on this privately. So I have been working on the game offline a little bit, which, you know, I will do from time to time. But essentially, well, one of the things I've done is I've fixed all the roads, because if you remember, they were basically pink. There was a bunch of data that was old, so I fixed that up. I have also fixed the line. I say fixed, there's still some bugs with it, but the line renderer wasn't working properly in the previous stream, which I noticed, and I think it was due to an upgrade to Unity 6. I think some of the settings got changed, or I messed with something else. So those have been corrected and updated now. So everything is looking roughly how I want. There's still a bunch of work I want to do on the visuals, but I'm not going to worry about that right now. I think the game looks okay as is. And I think any additional work on visuals should come after I think I've sort of battle tested the level. I think the level design is the main important thing to worry about for the current phase of this, and we'll sort of work on making the game look better and feel better after that stage, I think. So that's kind of the way that I'm thinking about things. So yeah, I've worked on the map outside of stream, and this is the area that I was working on. I've actually implemented the one of the destinations here, which is the Cedarwood City Cinema. And I think it's come out pretty nicely. I may do a little bit more detailing. I want to add some text, and my light is flickering. All right, it likes to do that from time to time. Let's see if that's... Usually it sorts itself out after a little bit. Yeah, so we're working on the cinema, and yeah, I think that I want to add a little bit more detail, maybe some posters. I think one of the things I want to do a bit later is there's a Cedarwood Studios sort of TV studio. It would be quite cool to have a poster shared over there with this one. I think that'd be a nice little detail. So I will add that at some point. But yeah, today we're going to work on a new destination. I say new. We're going to build the destination which is supposed to go here. If we take a look at our block out, I think it's in the layout layer. Yeah, we are going to build this out, which is supposed to be a sort of family diner. I can't fully remember the name of the location. Let me have a look. It will be in the data layer, actually. What did I call it? Pickups, zones. Restaurants. Name, downtown restaurant. Hello Lars, nice to see you. Thank you for joining. How are you doing today? So let me see. Let me look at the localization. Actually, what do we call it? The downtown restaurant. Uncle Pete's House of Pasta. There we go. Okay. Yeah, so I wanted it to be Italian themed. I knew it had some crazy name. It's been a while since I've worked on the actual data pieces for this, so I built the block out ages ago. So what I'm thinking with that is that we do some kind of like Americanized sort of family restaurant thing that just like wouldn't exist anywhere else, and it's just this like, I don't know, there's just something brilliant about the like trying to take a building out of Italy and just put it in an urban setting, and I really think that would contrast nicely. So I want to try and build something like that today. I don't know if we'll get it all done. I want to stream for a couple of hours, but this might take a little while. The texturing, I think, is going to be the challenge here. It's clear that we need these sort of vibrant colors, and I think I'm just going to use a mix of a lot of these different sort of themes here. It's clear that there's a sort of facade and an awning. We may have to jump into Blender actually and do some of this and create some assets. Because this sort of brickwork, I quite like that too. This arch is quite cool. Yeah, and there's like some stairs and stuff. I don't know. Oh, that's neat, isn't it? See, that kind of is where it's just this white building, but it has these, maybe that's what we go with. Maybe we go with something like this. I think this is achievable and would fit this location, this little spot here quite well. Looking at the layout, I want this to be a big sign. It's just a big, like, obnoxious sign. And I think a parking lot, and then I think I had it so that it was like going to, yeah, there's gonna be some buildings here, so maybe these are some stores, and this is all just a big parking lot. I think that could work, so maybe we do that. Took a lot of inspiration from your tutorials when I was. Thank you, I appreciate it. I'm glad you enjoyed them and found them valuable. Same to you, Kazumi. Yes, this is a game called Cabs of Chaos. I've been working on it for a while. I think this is the 8th stream. I think there's a bunch of streams of me working on this game, and I announced it like last year in a video. So tons of stuff to catch up on there if you are interested in how that's going. We're just doing some level art today. So yeah, all right. I always find these sort of destinations overworked because it's just like, well, now it has to exist, and we have to do all the work to make it exist. So I think I'll worry about, this is an intersection piece, and I think this would be how you would get that. The transitions are always the hardest, right? Like, and I've tried doing it over here. I've already tried, last off camera, I sort of tried figuring out how to make one of those work. I think this came out better than I was expecting. I will probably more long-term build a system into my spline tool to support not rendering a mesh at a certain node point, and just be like, hey, make this a certain style between the nodes. So yeah, I also have to figure out how I'm going to block the player off in this section. There's a lot to do. But yeah, okay, so the first decision then is we've got to figure out how this is going to look in terms of in terms of the exterior piece, maybe we don't worry about this section just yet, and maybe we just build out a parking lot space and just build some. Yeah, you know what? Let's just build the surface. I think let's try not to overthink it. We can always, the flexibility of these tools means that we can always adjust a little later. So let's do that. I think the first thing we'll do then is this is already basically a surface that we want. So let's duplicate that. But we don't need to be this insanely complex. So let's clean this up, just get 4 points and start with. I always like to just start with 4 and then add more points to create the shape moving forward, which clearly we're already going to need to do. Interesting. See, that's the little weird bit about this section, is that I think we start the actual parking lot piece there and we make this grass. I think that would just flow better, because this is going to be a little bit of a like plaza park thing, and then if there's a little bit of grass and some trees, I think that will just blend better. So let's do that. Transitions, I said this I think in the last stream, but transition pieces are always just like the hardest thing to do. When you have these sort of height changes, making that work is tough. This game has given me just a complete crash course in level design, and I'm nowhere near like good at it, but it does make you think differently about how to lay out a space, and you've really got to consider where the player might go. I don't mind if this, because I think I'll put a curb between the pavement here, so I think that's okay. And then let's just follow this a little bit. Definitely looks like a bigger game than my Game Jam game. Yeah, well, yeah, it's hopefully a decent sized game. I'm really, I'm hoping it will, you know, attract some attention, but I'm trying to keep it cheap, you know, and it's kind of a hobby too, so, it's really just something I'm working on because I want to play a fun multiplayer game with some friends eventually, and you know, maybe other people will resonate with that too. But I'm trying not to stress about it. You know, I do this for fun. Like, I already have a full-time project that I'm working on, so I try not to get too. I mean, you know, we all do that. We all get in our heads a bit about the games that we're making. But this has been a huge learning experience for me. Like, I've built AI in this game, not that kind of AI, the good kind of AI, you know. And that was fun, like figuring out how to get competitive sort of bot cars to drive around and like feel challenging and stuff. And that ended up being really like easier than I think I expected it to be. I thought I'd have to do some really complex decision trees and stuff, but like the really cool thing about that is I've built my, and I'll go into this one day, I think, either on my second channel or in a detailed video here. Spoiler, I have a second channel now. And essentially, because the player controller is divorced from the control input, the player controller logic can be shared on all of the opponents, and then the AI just has to decide what input to use. And that was really interesting because I basically just had to consider situations in which it was like, oh, just let off the brakes or turn, like as if it was a somebody else, basically an algorithm for controlling the controller. And I thought I'd have to do more than that, but that combined with a nav mesh actually ended up, and some like detection. Basically, I had to do the work to give it eyes, and I had to do the work to give it sort of a sense of direction. But the rest kind of just came for free due to the character controller that I built, or like player controller that I built, and that was an interesting experience. So there are some techniques and things that I've learned working on this project, which I'm sure you've all seen through the various videos that I've put out on this channel, that have helped. So, you know, all of that to say, my point was that this being a hobby game really has just provided so much dividends in just making me better at certain things and just letting me tackle things I've never done before. I'm dealing with multiplayer. I'm learning sort of that side of things too. So, you know, this has been an interesting, working on bigger projects like this, I guess is what I'm saying, gives you things to tackle that you maybe wouldn't necessarily tackle. And I think that's a compelling case for it. So I try not to think of it more heavier than that. Nemo Breaks Code. Any idea on how to make a retro neon skybox with a shader? Can't get the mountains right. Mesh is too heavy for mobile. By the way, it's a beautiful game. Thank you. Thank you for that. I appreciate it. I'm still a little on the visuals for the game, but I appreciate that you think it looks good. That makes, at least it's not horrible. So I'm just trying to go for a consistent style. Anyway, to answer your question, keep an eye on the channel. There is a video coming out about skyboxes some point next week. And that is all I will say. Right, so that's roughly A shape, I think. It's lined up. Yeah, okay. So I was gonna go. Okay, originally I was gonna go a little bigger than that. I think the original destinations. Oh dear. Whoops. Well, okay, cool. That'll do. Let's also put the grass layer in. Let's just grab this one because that's already got the right texture. But let's move these guys around. And put them there because that seems to be where they actually want to be. And then, okay, cool. See, then these can sort of transition better. I like using the grass as transitions because they can kind of have height and it not be an issue, and they can also kind of just be off the ground and that sort of look a little bit more normal. This can then mesh with the pavement, you know. I still think we'll put a curb here. But I think that will blend nicely. That also makes sense for a sign, like where a sign would go. I think the sign might go above this bit here actually though, and I think we'll put one on the other side too, because it's weird that there would be a sign kind of, although I guess it would be facing, if you're coming this way you would see it so you could then turn left. Yeah, I think that's fine. Okay. My goal with this, actually, I mean, like, it's progressing. Now that I've got a lot of the tools in place. Oh, this might need to blend over here. Just increase the resolution a little bit. Make the grid distance smaller. Yeah, now that I've got all the tools in place, you know, like I'm looking at this and I'm like, actually, there's not that much left to do. We've done, I think we've done about like, maybe like 3/5 of the map. It's just sort of this area, which has 2 destinations in it. Like the destinations take the longest to do. They are the most time consuming for sure. And then the park area, the station we'll have to do. And then there's a whole bunch of destinations here. Like here, there's a couple here. So it's destination dense in this corner. So I think I'm just gonna try and tackle this section and just flow around. Because once this section is done, once this section here is done, like, this is it then. Then we have a map. We have like a map and we have a level for the game. I would love to make 3 levels, I think, for the finished game. But I don't know. Given the time that I have to work on this, maybe there's just one level for the game and we launch and then I add new levels later. That might be a better plan. I haven't fully decided how I want to do that yet, but maybe that's what we end up doing. I don't know. Ugh. Okay, I think we just need to make this go back here. Doesn't need to make sense, it just needs to not look wrong. And then let's grab this guy. And we'll add, oops, oh dear. I'll add a point to there. That linear, we'll make that one linear. I think we need one more there. That linear. Then that just needs to stick out so that when you're looking at it, it doesn't look horrifically wrong. We can hide the rest of it. I also think I'll get a lot more detail into the game once the level is done and I can do decals and things like that. I'm hoping that will work. Okay, there you go. That transitioned a little better than I wanted. I think I can block this off visibly with some stuff. Let's build the layout of the structure, and I think that will make a big difference. I think, yeah, I think I'm settling on this design. Because I think it's achievable. So the flat roof, like the black top facades. I just need to make, I mean, we've got the pillars and the roof. Okay. I kind of have those wall pieces already. I kind of do, but maybe we just make them. I'm not sure. Like, we could build that, I think. I'm trying to figure out my approach to doing this. Can I get like a, oh, I can. I just found it. Is it still there? Oh, where we are. Where did it go? Oh, there. Okay. Okay, we have a street map view. Oh, I lost it. Is this it? This is it, I think. So, yeah, there it is. Okay. Okay, there we go. Can I then go into 3D mode? Globe view, there we go. Okay. I mean, it's kind of perfect because it's just a lot. Which, like, I don't know, that fits the theme that I'm going for, I think. It's just a lot with a facade. Okay, I think then we build the white, we just sort of build the white building, and then we add the facade pieces on the front corner of it. I think that's the way to go. We build a windowless box here. We kind of, I mean, we kind of did this with the mall. Like, the mall was a combination of boxes, and then we just sort of added facade pieces to it. And this is kind of how I've built a good number of my destinations. There's a couple that are bespoke. Like, this one is bespoke because I need it to look a specific way. I may end up redoing this one, so just this bit. And then this is using the real assets, but I mean, it's fine. And then these are like half bespoke. So, but like the hotel. Ooh. Oh, I've just lost myself completely, jeez. Yeah, the hotel. I think I did this on stream, I can't remember. I'm really pleased with how the hotel came out. Like, this looks like an actual hotel. And I think this is, the little entryway piece was really what sells that, so... and then, you know, it's the little decorative elements that I think make the building stand out. So, you know, I think let's just do that. Let's just do it. I think that's a good plan. Okay, where do all these trees belong? Because they are just sitting and hanging out. Let's put them in a section. Oh, you're just the background trees, aren't you? Okay. Is that all of these? Kind of. Okay. Level. You are the middle right. Theoretically, yeah. Okay, they go in there. And then I actually just want to quickly switch to the sedan. I don't know if this will work. I was thinking about this. I've tested the game a lot with Jessie's character. And so I use her a lot for the just driving around. But I really should switch from time to time to the other characters. I don't even know if they work properly. Okay, good. Yeah, alright, great. Good, they still look good, alright. Oh yeah, there we go. Oh, that's a good jump. Oh, none of this stuff is marked as drivable, I guess. Alright, cool. Well, good, that works. Okay, we can drive around as him for a bit. Ground, ground. None of that is ground. There we go. Okay. Ground. Yes. Oh, that's ground. Okay, good. All right. Box time. So this is part of the bank. Okay. I'll worry about the ordering later. That's the bottom left section. We're in the bottom right section. Okay. So let's just grab an existing building and oops. Put that in the bottom right section so we can start building out properly. There you go. And then let's just make our box. Color it properly later. So I think we go box this way. Oh, it doesn't need to be this big. I think we need like 2 stories, right? Maybe 3. It's gonna have that top piece. Okay, this is gonna be an interesting thing to figure out how to do. I like that it sticks out though. I do like the sort of concept of there being a behind piece. I don't know. I think we can block it off here, but I like that you could get access to, because there's something fun. One of the things I want to do with this game is provide parts of the level where people can hide. Because a big portion of this is the chase, right? And in the playtest that I was doing with friends, the best moments were when you were somebody you knew, like there was a destination, so this was a destination, and because this is a destination, either you were trying to escape and deliver someone quickly, so you had to like get to a corner and hide, or you would act as you'd wait for your prey and you'd hope that they would come, you know that they're coming from this direction maybe, and so you're waiting here for them and then you like charge out at them. And any opportunity for those kind of moments, I think I really want to encourage. And so the level design should support some of that. Obviously I don't want it to be too much, but I think making sure that, and I have intentionally designed a lot of these little nooks that people can hide in. Part of that also is just to break up the city a little bit, but I realize that these become parts of the game where people can hide, and like this I'll block off, but the sort of narrowly trying to weave away from each other, I think is a really interesting component of the game, and it was something I observed when we were doing playtests, just based off of the blockout level. So any opportunity to encourage that, I think, is generally good. So I think this is how we'll lay it out, and we'll block this off. I think probably just to keep this simple for now. We can just extend this surface. Like, do we want it to be fully blocked out, or kind of? Like, what if this is probably like, no, because this would be the entrance. This would be the way that they would put the. You got to get to the back somehow, right? Although actually, having an alley. Well, that's not a bad idea. We could have a shortcut around the back. Maybe that's what it is. Oh, maybe it's that. I hadn't really used this before, and I was considering it for a while, that there was an alternative route around the back here. The more that I think about it, the more that I like that as an opportunity. So maybe then we just extend this out. I don't know if my tool is going to let me get away with this. Maybe. We may have to build a second surface. I might do that just to save on geometry. It starts to get a little hairy. Okay, let's just build a new surface. There we go. We don't need all of these guys really now. It's just for sort of visual clarity more than anything else. Okay. Okay, so then at least we can sort of block off. And let's make those just disappear into the ether. Like that. So this can then turn into basically an alleyway, right? So we would have, I don't know, I think we'll make this work. Open image. So we'll have our like corner piece around there. Or maybe that would be what this bit is. Like this will be the front side, and then this will just carry around this corner here. which I think it makes sense, and then cut off there. And then, you know, there's some additional parking. I mean, maybe the parking just cuts off here. There's a bit of a jump or something. And we do it that way. Probably something like that. Okay, so that's probably good. I think that height is good. I think we just need to get rid of the roof. So I think we just set the roof height to be not much. Is that how I do that? I can't remember what I did to make. I need to update my roofs. I'm really not happy with my roof system. Like the roof thing I did in the video that I did recently is a better roof system than the one that I have in this game. So I definitely need to update the roofs in this. But okay, that's starting to resemble a shape. So we want white and then we want black. So do we just go pure white to start with? Because I think we could build, I think we can put the black top. Okay, yeah, I think that's what we do. I think we just go, I think we, no, actually, we take advantage of our yeah, so we'll make the, we can make the base piece our foundation piece. I think we do that. So where's the foundation? Let's set the foundation height to 1. And then let's use, we need one that's mapped. So we need the foundation mesh to be, I think that's texture mapped. And then we actually want, I kind of want a lighter color version of it. Does the lighter one match the color that I want to go with? No, I want this light brick color. So let's make another material. And let's put that on there. Let's go brown C. I'm gonna rename it. I don't think brown is gonna be the right one to go with. We want a more orangey version, right? Because let's grab my swatches. It needs to be more like yellow. But not yellow, right? I wonder, will I have one? Ooh, that might work better. I think it's one of these shades. Hello, Mert. You got a Rococo suit a while back. How are you finding it so far for locomotion? Would you recommend it? I enjoyed using my Rococo. I enjoyed using my Rococo suit, but the previous apartment I was in was a very tall building, and I think it was all made of metal. And so I just ended up with so much interference. I messaged them about it, and we were trying to figure out what the issue was, and their response was basically just there was a ton of interference. This building, I haven't tried it in yet. It's in my closet, and I probably will when I get to doing animations for this, even if it's just for reference, because I think the game needs more cartoony, like hand-done animations. I probably will record some on that suit to get reference, and I think I'll have a better reference then. We may do a stream for that, you know, but I can't comment on it at the moment because I don't have a good example yet of what it's like here and whether it still has the same problems that it had. Their software did improve, and they did a bunch of updates, I remember, that did make some of it better. But yeah, I had so many issues in the last place I lived, so we'll see. But the next, I mean, like my contacts there are great, and I like them. I think they're a good company. I think they're trying to actually do good stuff. So, you know, I think the fact that you can talk to them and they're open to conversation and stuff was really great, and their Discord is really active, and you know, they're really trying to make a good product. So that's the only response I have, is that, like, I've obviously, because they sent me one, I've spoken to the team, and just I had a really good time whenever I spoke with them. I hung out with them a few times when they were here in Vancouver, and just generally left with a good impression of the team. So that was a while ago now, but I will update folks when I've tried it again, I guess. So, okay, I really need to try and get this color. I mean, the thing is, I've got my color palette for the game, right? So I don't want to move away from the color palette. So maybe we do just go with that, you know, or we keep it muted. Maybe it's that one. Maybe it's just this orange one. I mean, it's possible it's just the shadowing that's causing the problem, but all right, we'll go with that one for now. And then it's like brown. I guess it's a brown color. It's more orange, but that's fine. No, I don't like it. No, I changed my mind. It needs to be more muted. Yeah, it needs to be more muted. Okay, that's better. I don't think I have that shade yet, so that's good. I really need a better... Do I have a better brick texture? Oh, it's the tiling problem. That's on me. Oh, it actually just doesn't tile as a texture properly. Or is it... Wait. Maybe it's not tiling properly. That would make more sense. Yeah, it doesn't tile. Why do I have a texture? Why did I make a texture that doesn't tile? Why would I do that? Yeah, I think let's use this one. I think this tile's a little bit better. Don't worry about this end. Genuinely, I think I prefer this as my wall texture. I think I'll make a new brick one. I'm not hugely fond of this brick texture anyway, so I may just end up replacing the brick texture. I think the stone one came out really nicely, so... Well, these are like stone bricks, you know, uneven bricks. This is better. I think that's a better shade, so maybe changing this now. I think it's one of these. Oh. Yeah, I think it's that color. Okay. All right. Perfection is the enemy of good. Let's just move on. Okay, so we want to just delete that one, and then we want a white surface. Like that. And then I want to turn off all the windows. Apart from on the first floor. Essentially, it will be maybe I rethink this. Okay, we'll come back to this. I think we'll just do a white box. I'm realizing that the I don't think I'm going to be able to get like the door and windows to look good if I use the foundation as the sort of piece. I think I'm going to have to build a facade on the outside. I think that will look better. I think I'm going to have to build like a half wall with this texture on it around the outskirts of this spline. So let's do that instead. I think I'm going to delete that and turn off the foundation. And I think we just stick with our mesh like this. Oops. Okay. Let's straighten this edge up. Because then now I think we can put windows around the edges and it not be as weird. I don't think there will be any on the top though, so let's turn off our top distribution. Let's also turn off the wall-to-wall feature. There we go. And then I think we have a window. I think we go random with the windows. So I think we go distribution base 1. We'll change the window type in a minute. But we go like 0.75, and I think we just maybe less. Oh, that's good. Yeah, that's the perfect kind of okay, yeah. That's about the right kind, and then we just have to roll the dice a bunch of times until we get a layout that we like. Yeah, I think that's good. Okay, I gotta remember to lock this so it doesn't completely mess up once we're ready to put the facade on. So then we should get the door in as well. So let's change the windows. To one that a restaurant would have. I mean, it kind of might have the sort of classical. Would it? No. I think it would either have the like double pane, like with the split down the middle. Do I not have one of those though? I guess I don't. I always thought I had one. I don't think I've made one of those. We have that, but that's way too wide. Yeah, I genuinely don't think we have one. hate that these face the other way. I made a decision a long time ago, and I'm now paying the price in that I select a thing and it's reversed. F is close to what we want. Maybe we can use F. Let's try F. Yeah, F could, I think F can work. We gotta make it brown. The thing is, that's then the pain for the window. I want there to be a middle piece. Just sort of looking at how these buildings look. Oh, I have 2 of these tabs open. Oh, we could go like triple windows. Yeah, maybe we do that. Or we... Or we just stick with this. Now let's make a window. Okay. I think it's easy enough to do that. Let's make one. Yeah, we just fully never made one like that. Interesting. We could work with larger window pieces and wall pieces if we wanted to. I could add support for random windows as well. But I think the uniform nature of them work better, so... Okay, so our UV mapped one, I think is... B, yeah, okay. Let's go here. So... First things first, we'll just scale it down. I mean, they're going to be off the ground a little bit. Okay. And then we'll scale this in. And then we'll do it again, I think. And then make a split, bring that in. And I think we inset this. And then scale these guys in. And then I think that's our window. So I think we like mark this. I actually don't think we need that other piece. Okay, this can be our window piece. Oh, there we go. And then this can be the sort of outline color. Because I've noticed that middle just does look better when we do it like that. And then this is the window. And that can then be like where the wood would be. Would be. Nope, I think that's all selected. That can then be our, usually that's the accent color, right? We kind of have it guess. But I wanted a more thin approach. So I should grab these. Bring these down. Oops. A snapping turned on, I do. Okay, something like that, I think. Because that's too much. We could maybe do that. Even then it might be too much. No, actually that's okay. Yeah, okay. Very similar. Which one is this? J. Okay. It's fine. It's a slightly modified version of Blender. Okay. So we'll just call this J02. Can be the alternate version of J. I'll just export that. And then pick J02. Yeah, I think that's better. Okay, perfect. And then we want a brown color. Oh. Yeah, weird, okay. Oh, that looks nice. Oh, weird. Using that texture worked really well. I guess because it comes with some sort of detail. Yeah. Oh, that looks good. All right. Yeah, I think we'll pass for that. Maybe we go our own way with it and we make this bottom. I think we duplicate this. We make this bottom layer, which is one story. We make that the sort of the inverse of that building there. And we need a door. Two doors. Where are the doors? Oops. There. I just went straight past them. I'm an idiot. I think I only have a version of a door. I don't know if I have a door type that is kind of what I want to go for here. Door C might work, actually. we need to swap those two knots around so the doors get put in the right place. Oh no, I don't want 3 doors. I meant to offset the doors by 3. 5. 6. See, a smart version of me would have made a tool to manage this. Did that even move? I don't think I even moved. 7, okay. I think my math for my door offset is wrong. I think the distribution counts. But I think actually, yeah, I think we can do 7. And then we could set the distribution to 4. Oh damn, that's good. I like that. Oh no, I'm gonna move it now and it's gonna, I need to straighten this line up. Ugh. Okay. Yeah, I like that a lot. There's like a little corner here and a corner there. Because there's gonna be other buildings. I think yeah, there's like a back alley, but I think we're gonna have sort of joined buildings, so it makes sense that the facade will wrap around the corner. We will need some kind of pavement there actually, so we might need to build another surface. But I think that's going to look good. Okay, we're getting there. I think we kind of have a block layout now, which is good. So we need our sort of awning facade pieces, which I could build. Yeah, okay. Let's grab our surface. Actually, I'll just duplicate this and give this a I'll just go for the as if it's pavement, and we can clean it up again later. And again, this can be nice and square. Is that 4? That's 3. I've made 3. Whoops. Let's linear these. Linear that one. And okay. I think that's, yeah, that'll start to take shape. I need to recenter some of this stuff too, because I don't know why the world position of that element is all the way over here. I guess we'll do that, and then that into place. All right, there we go. Oh, I'm glad the line tool is doing its work again. It's fixing so much of my... I do need to improve it because the edge detection is a little bit gnarly, but it's probably fine. Oh, okay. Ooh, I kind of just get a free rectangular piece. That looks nice. I love when stuff like that happens. That's great. Yeah, and then this doesn't need to go. Oh wow, we are gonna. Maybe the whole point is that like the curb kind of ends. Maybe you can just kind of walk around. Hey, can you help make a new tutorial on the scriptable render pipeline in Unity 6? It will really help a lot. No, the scriptable render pipeline video that I made last year, I think. And the majority of the content is still exactly the same. The only new things that have changed are, I think, the scriptable render graph. And again, the context of that is just what I said to do previously, which was take a look at the code. Like, it's all there already. So, it's not worth me spending the time on a whole new video to just basically say the same thing apart from like 2 other pieces of information. We could maybe look at it in a live stream. I think that's probably more valuable, but it's not really necessary. I mean, this game is running using all of the code from that video. So nothing is out of date in that video. It just is probably being obfuscated, but it still works. So I rarely will go back and revisit videos unless something is like really, really out of date. I might mention it in a new one, or we'll try a new technique in the future, but like 2/3 of the time, the videos that I make are intended to use, you know, your own ability to look and, you know, go further into information. But I'm still pretty confident. I still think that video explains it in a way that I would have needed to dive deeper, and that was the intent of the video, really. It was a sort of, here's some key pieces of information to get you started, but I'm not going to do everything for you. My channel just doesn't do that, really. I never have, and I probably never will, because that's not the sort of content that I make. And I'm sure there are plenty of other videos on YouTube that are doing that stuff by awesome creators. One of the things I will do, though, I've seen people comment recently on the graph video stuff that I did, I think like a year or 2 ago. And the reason I haven't done more of that is because Unity's new graph tooling stuff is coming in, and I'm excited to learn that stuff. And then I think once that becomes more robust, I'll make a video about that, because I think there's a lot of content to sort of create from that, even as a getting started. So that's probably the only one I'll really revisit in the future. I don't like these doors. I don't like them. I also think it might be too tall. I think we only need 4 stories. Maybe 3. Do we go 3? Yeah, I think it's that, and then like the actual facade pieces just stick out a little bit. I think it's a 3-story building, and it goes a little bit taller. Sorry, I'm trying not to slurp, but that's incredibly pleasant to listen to. Game Dev Guide turned into a ASMR channel, but just like the worst kind. All right. Look, it's taking shape. I like when we have something. I think I'm gonna change the pink though. Just because there's pink there and it just kind of clashes, I think. I could change the background of that one, but I think actually, oh, we could go like, red could work. Well, that's different enough. Yeah, let's go red. Red works. Okay. Still don't like that door. I was gonna change the door. Do we make a door? Maybe we need to make a new door. One of the things I haven't done a lot is make doors. That's a big one. I don't have that many doors. Okay. Okay. Yeah. I think we should make a door. Okay. That will help. Right, let's start from our base piece, which is always will be. Where are we putting doors? I guess we'll just go here. So I hate making doors. I want the door to look. I think just in the middle. We haven't done one that's just sort of a door in the middle of the wall. So let's duplicate that. Let's make that wider. And then bring that there. And it's just a single door, right? So we bring this in. Delete this face. How do you... Oh, I guess we could extrude. All right, we'll cheat. Hello. Elias BRD. Is it Eli? How do you pronounce that? Elias BRD. Interesting username. Welcome to the stream. Is it like Elise? Elias? How do I want to do this? Yeah, I guess we can just delete this face. Both. And then... It's weird that it doesn't make a vertex. Like that's a loose vertex. I don't know why it does that. Blender is weird. Oh, Ilias. Okay. Like Ilyas or Ilyas. No, not really. Whereabouts are you watching from? I've heard the name obviously before, just I guess I've never sort of seen it written down that way. Do we inset this? Is that how I get what I want? I guess so, right? Yeah, I think that's what we need. Okay. Tunisian. Okay, cool. And then, can you deselect one edge and inset that? No, Blender doesn't like that. Okay. I guess that could work. So make that the accent color. Actually, what we'll do that. We'll make that the outline color, and then do it again. And make that the accent color. And then do we want, I guess these kind of doors, yeah, I guess they kind of have another. Let's just make this easier. Split that, give that an accent color, there we go. And then bring this in. Yeah, okay. Give that an outline. And then a window. Looks kind of squished. I don't know how I feel about that. That'll be fine. I mean, it's a new type of door, so I can't complain. We have a very limited amount of doors in the game to choose from, so I think this is too small. Yeah, I think that's better. That's probably good. Okay. And because we can. Actually, no, I think I'm just gonna leave it like that. I think that's probably fine. We can see how that looks. I think it might be inset too much. Yeah, went too far on the in setting. Let's bring this back out. Smell procedural generation. What are you doing? You will be correct. We are procedurally generating a building. Following on from the previous streams, we were procedurally generating buildings, and the previous streams before that. If you're interested, I made a video about it right here on the channel. You know what? That's probably fine. Where's door 01B? Alright. Whatever. This can be D. I think that's fine. Hello, Eric. How are you doing? Welcome. Thanks for watching. All the way from Sweden. I'm making Diamond Topo in Unity. I'm trying to optimize it to the maximum. It's weird, and I didn't find any repo about it or any tutorial actually pretty useful. Yeah, I'm thinking about doing some tech for lowering the LODs on some of the buildings in the background, but I don't know. I mean, these meshes aren't like insane, but I'm not sure. A lot of this is probably just going to be using occlusion culling, but when there's multiple players involved, it might get a little gnarly. So I think that'll be a bridge that we cross when we come to it. Thankfully, I think we probably can sort of dynamically LOD some of the stuff in the background, because like it's going to be so far away that it doesn't really matter if it's just kind of a mush. If I do figure that out, I will end up making a video about it because I think it's interesting. Right. What do we call this door? We called it door D, right? Okay. Does it look horrible? Well, let's find out. Oh no, that looks okay. Yeah, okay, we just have to make that brown. Do not like the material that it's using. But that looks good. Yeah. All right. That is passable as a building. I think we're good. I think we'll get away with that. We could make a variant where the door is like one side versus the other. Rather than centered. Because then if you have a window next to it, although I think that might just look good when you have windows next to it anyway. I think that looks normal enough. And then we can just do like a low version of the trim that we were going to do. I think that'll look fine. Maybe that's the next step. Yeah, well, okay, I think the facade piece I think is next, right? Yeah. Okay. It's getting somewhere. Maybe we'll do a black trim. Let's do the trim. Let's do the trim. That's nice and easy. I'm not excited about the facade piece, but let's do the trim. Actually, the wall bit could be nice too. Oh, do we just duplicate? I think we just duplicate this. I think we duplicate this so that it's the exact same. We remove that and we move it up. And then we delete the children. And then we do building roof trim. What is it called? Eve? It's like an Eve or something. I think trim is fine. And we do instantiate. And then, do we have a prop that looks good for this? My barrier would work, but there isn't a black version, so I may have to go make a black one. Yeah, the curb piece would probably work too, wouldn't it? Yeah, the curb works well. Okay, I think I just need to make a black version of the curb that doesn't have the edge. And because this tool is not as good. I think I'll have to split all of these up so I can position them myself. I had to do this last time I did this. And get rid of the Z offsets. Yeah. Yeah, we'll make a black one, although... we may not need to. Yeah, I think that'll work. I think a black one would just actually make it look worse. Cool. I really like it when I have pieces that I can use that are not what I intended them for, but get the use out of them. Let's scale along the Z-axis so they are better fit. And a little bit more flexibility. Oh, I love it when this happens. I don't love it when that happens. It doesn't have to look fantastic, it just doesn't have to look wrong. I think that's the lesson I always take away from this stuff. This edge in particular is going to be seen, so although I think this might end up being where the where some of the facade is, so because we'll have a bit of brick down there, so actually it's probably fine. And then the back I'm not too worried about, though I will just follow the mesh a little bit. It's probably fine if it just sort of overlaps a little bit. These edges are a pain. Yeah. Yeah, they are. It's fine. Like, some of the visual sacrifices I'm making to just make sure that this game is incredibly flexible to continue to implement, I'm okay with. Because, yeah, the alternative is that just this sucks and, like, every decision I make becomes permanent. And that is not great. Like, you know, one of the big things when you're working on your own is you need that flexibility to make those adjustments very easily. And everything I've done in this game is like, aside from the odd bit here and there, but the majority of things is incredibly non-destructive, and I think that's awesome. And I'm very happy about that. I think that's honestly like one of the biggest tips I have for people working on their own is like, just make tools that make your life easier, but also like design a pipeline that works. Even like when I thought about making this game, and I think I've spoken about this on stream before, but I've intentionally picked an art style that I knew was faster to work with. Right, like if you imagine this was, you know, an Unreal Engine game or something, and I was trying to do proper PBR, right? Like this would take 10 times the amount of time to implement. But picking a more low-key art stylized approach, you know, was intentional in terms of being able to produce this. I think that looks okay. I really think it does. Okay. Now we have to do the same with the facade piece at the bottom. I think we do that first. I think what we do is on the corner here. Actually, yeah, this might be how we do it. In fact, I think what we do is we don't have... Maybe we don't have the windows on... We don't have the windows or doors on this piece, and we have a second structure that sticks out. What would that look like? I think we'd still have to do the facade piece. If these guys both are at 0. I think this is going to make the most sense. I'll have to adjust the sidewalk, obviously. And actually, in these sort of buildings, like this wouldn't be sidewalk either. There would just be like plants and stuff there, so we can do that. Yeah, you know, I think having this bit stick out, I think that's the way to go. And then that's where the road, that's where the doors are. Yeah, okay. I think that's what we do here. So yeah, see? And then we have doors. Ooh. Oh, I like that. And then this bit is just all red, I think. So actually we just sort of have one color. right? And that's a little higher. And then this will have an actual roof. But it needs to be the tiled roof. It's UV mapped, right? Yeah, okay. Do I not have roof tiles? I don't. Ah. Alright, we might not need it. Yeah, like that being an extra story I think looks good, and it's sticking out a little bit. Maybe not that much. I actually quite like the idea of this being a hexagonal piece though. Kind of like that. This piece has confused my... Okay, let's set the door offset to 0. There we go. Okay. Oh yeah, there we go. Look at that. That's already looking, you know, more eccentric, I guess, from a design standpoint. I think the roof needs to be, I think we need to go with a tile approach, which I haven't really tried, I think. So we could try this, we could try roof and then do tile. And then let's just make this white for now. Are you ever going to add extra details for the walls like plants, balconies, antennas, pipes? Yes. Yep, 100%. Pretty much the approach is to get the general shape of every building in place. And I've already added a few details, but it's a balance between like noise and intricacy because, you know, you're going to be speeding past it. So I want a lot of the work to go on like the main destinations. But yeah, I will go through and add, you know, roof details, decals, all these kind of things to just like try and break the scenery up a little bit. But part of that is going to need to be balanced by what makes sense and how much noise there is. Because for like the challenge I have, even though I was speaking about it before, is that the art style being as simple as it is, it needs to still look convincing, right? And so I think that's going to be the challenge, but that's, I think, another pass towards the end. So once this version works and I've playtested the level and, you know, it makes sense from like a flow standpoint, I don't need to make any major tweaks. I think that's the polish phase, is just like extra details and extra pieces on all the different sort of doors and windows and things. So yeah, I'm doing it in flourishes here and there where I think it makes sense, but I don't want to spend too much time too early on that stuff. And that's one of the biggest challenges, really, is figuring out when is the right time to make those kind of decisions. So I need to find where these are. Yeah, the wall texture might work for this one. I kind of need like a rotated version. Oh, the noise weirdly makes it look better. Oh, actually, that is probably okay. The noise sort of breaks it up a bit. That's interesting. I hadn't considered that that would be the case, but that doesn't look bad. Okay, I have a new technique for some of the... Honestly, that's pretty good. Like, there's like a little bit of detail there. I think I do want them to be bigger for the roof. So if we do... I'm actually gonna make a version of this that's flipped. Let's oops. Let's duplicate this one. That version could work actually, but we'll just do this. Do B, and then I'll show this. Where is it? B? And we'll just flip it. And then try that version instead. Yeah, that's better. Immediately better. Oh. Do I have UV settings for the wall, for the roof? Roof UV type world, okay. Oh, that actually isn't bad. Yeah, I like length. I think length is good there. So let's just fix that up then. I think actually we can go back to the previous version. And the rotation sort of naturally makes that work. Okay, cool. And then we can just make that. It's so jank. It's fine. I think it's fine. I think that looks okay. Maybe 0.75, just so it's a little bit less. Maybe it's okay at 1. No. 7.5's good. Okay. I think that looks okay. Can maybe change the color slightly. It would be a sort of red. This kind of tile is like a... It's not that bright though. Yeah, I think that blends nicely. I think that blends quite nicely. And then we can have the other roof. So we probably should achieve the other roof the same way. I haven't tried this before. I haven't tried using my tool to just make a roof. But I wonder if we can. So if I duplicate that and bring this down to 2 stories, and then bring this out. In fact, we do 1 story. We're getting really creative today. We're really trying to stretch what I designed these things to be able to do to their limit. Okay. And then okay, that didn't work. Right, because it uses the height to place it. It doesn't use the height to... In that case... I don't... I mean doors. Just have wall. Oh, that's such a hack. That's such a hack. But I don't hate it. Yeah, that'll work. Okay. So then do we just go to the edge of this? I think we probably do, huh? No, we should probably go like a little bit of the way along at least. Right? This one should not use length. This one should use default. World even. We can just We can fix that later. Yeah, the problem with this is I then have to deal with that, and that doesn't work unless what we do is fold this in. That might work. I haven't tried making a building with a roof like that before. Okay. I don't think we're going to be able to get at what we want that way because of the way that the roof system works. It's very rudimentary. And that doesn't look great. I think I'm going to actually have to make roof pieces. Which is fine. I think that's fine. Okay, let's make a roof piece. Let's save this. Open. Okay. I mean, there's really like 3 pieces this needs, which is just like the corner and like, is that just sort of how we make it? I think it kind of is. I think we split this into 4 like that. Oh. Just reset it. And then oh, actually, can we just triangulate? Would that fix it? Yeah, that did what we needed to. Okay, good. Probably something like that. I should have just rotated this. I don't want this to be a nightmare to UV map, so I guess we just do it like that instead. And then, yeah, that's probably fine. Pretty much just make that edge non-existent. It's because of roof awning tile corner. And then we'll make that bit the centerpiece. I think that'll probably be it. I think we just need to do the edge. We could go full Planet Coaster on it and do like, because we could use, yeah, and then I think we'll need to reuse these anyway. So, oh, we could just extrude this and then separate that piece out. Okay. And just go E. But that'll be the same anyway, because they're the same size, so. I think that's it. I think we just need those two pieces, right? And like, as long as that looks good. So what we should do yeah, I think what we'll do is get this in UV mapped. So oh look, we have the wall texture. Great. Okay. The thing to this is it will let us use our so we're gonna make a new material, tile, whatever, it doesn't actually matter. Assign, I'll call it roof tile, and then image, which is this roof, no, wall, that one. Okay, and we'll just yeah, I don't. Okay. I hate UV so much. I wish we had AI, but today this is where a good use of AI would be. Just UV map for me. That would be awesome. I guess I could do that. That would... Triggered, yeah. That's... Tiles are always a little bit off anyway. Roof tiles are misaligned all the time. Also, this texture that we've established, this texture doesn't repeat super well anyway, so... Which I should really fix. I don't know why I did that. Alright. That's close enough. Okay, good. Guess we'll fix... I mean, you wouldn't really see the underside, so... I don't know if we even need an underside. This can just live as a color. Now it's an atlas. Okay. Yeah, there we go. And then grab these and this bit and go separate, selection, edge, perfect. I'll just fill this in. Sure, that's fine. And then I'll just fill this in. Technically, I guess that's a quad. That one's already done. What's your take about AI taking over software engineer jobs? Look, I mean, some jobs it's going to replace, but I think that's mostly a management thing. But I mean, AI still, it really is still just predict, especially LLMs, you know, it's still just kind of trying to predict things. It's still so wildly inaccurate in so many places. Like ChatGPT is getting better, but it's still just kind of regurgitating stuff. I'm not super worried about it yet. I'm looking forward to AI tooling getting better. I think it's still that sort of wild west right now where companies are trying to figure out where to spend, well, where to get investors' shiny attention and highlight things for them to get investment and steal their money. They're still trying to figure out the actual utility of it. But, you know, in the game, I mean, there are going to, just like any technology, there's going to be some tasks that new technology is very, very, very good at and much, much faster at doing, right? But in games, it's not doing the useful stuff that I want it to do. It's doing the creative stuff that I don't want it to do. So, and I think most people feel that way too. I think if I should be careful what I say here. I think if you're not interested in the creative endeavor, people will use it, but people still won't have the ability to understand the creative parts of it because they haven't got that knowledge. So the stuff that they make you would just feel it because that artistry isn't there, you know? And that's not even an AI thing, that's just a technology thing. People making stuff with technology without understanding the fundamental art side of it, like the artistic fundamentals, you can see that because it just feels uninspired, I guess. But we'll see, you know. I'm excited about the utility of some stuff. Like I said, if we could have an AI tool that did UV unwrapping and it actually worked, like that would save so many people so much time. And I don't know anybody that enjoys UV wrapping. Maybe there's some people out there. I would argue the majority of people find that process to be just overwhelmingly tedious. Soon as, you know, I would pay good money for an AI tool that unwraps things for you correctly and accurately. I think a lot of us would. But that's not what they're building. So all right, so let's make this the origin. And then, actually, I don't think we can do that. I guess we make the bottom edge the origin. Okay, we make this edge the origin. Yeah. I think this edge, origin to selection, and then we make this edge the origin. I think those will then be tileable. Let's find out. I also don't know how big those will be. They may be tiny, and they may look awful. Oh, we should, however, add the solidify modifier to them and perform our outline. Technically, these are props now. Apply the scale, flip the normals, offset the materials, and then I guess we. Oh, object. Yeah. I guess we turn off the rim. Oh, I would need to delete that edge for that rim to go away, wouldn't I? Okay. In which case we need to produce a left and right version of this, but I think that's fine. Don't show this in edit mode, please. We actually need to delete that face. And then that's that direction. Oh, okay. Yeah, okay. So we do that. We have another one. And then that can be our middle piece. Okay. So that's the middle. That's the edge. And then this is the corner, and so we just delete. We turn off the rim feature, and actually just delete those faces. And then that should then snap together nicely. Right, like that's what that would look like. Yeah. Oh yeah. That's good. Okay. So back in Unity, let's delete those now because they're all named wrong. Do they just come in? Oh, not the baked version. Where do they go? There. Okay. Eat those. Actually, on that AI take, I would be interested to know what you guys watching think. Do you agree with what I said, or? I mean, it's a hot button topic. It's also why I'm selective with some of my sponsorships. I've had a lot of AI related people reach out, but I've really only accepted one of them. Okay, I think we can export this. We will need an inverted version of these guys, I think, but that's okay. This can be our tiled roof. Is that too small? Maybe it's too small. All right, let's figure it out. Can we instantiate this edge, the middle piece? Oh. Reverse. You generally agree? Cool. Good. I'm not completely off base. That's nice to know. Okay. It's not bad, is it? I think it needs to be bigger, though. I think we need to double the size. Oops. Okay, let's try that. And they're facing the other way now. Great. Why is that? No, just glitched. Okay. Yeah. Okay. Yeah, that's generally what I think we need here. I think that's gonna look quite good, actually. I wonder if I can modify this script, though. It'd be really nice to have a version of this script that could bookend the pieces for me. So it's like rather than a percentage chance, so it's like random. That would be great. I just don't think I'm gonna be able to do that, so I think I'm just gonna have to lay them out myself, really. I actually have never checked if I need to update the spline tools. Okay, yeah, there's no update to the splines. That's a shame. I guess they just kind of stopped working on it. Yeah. It was quite a while ago that they built those. Okay. Okay, never mind. How accessible is this tool? It would be genuinely a really useful thing if I can fix that. Because quite regularly I want to. How accessible is this script? Can I just kind of steal it and customize it? There. Okay. All right, let's see if we can duplicate this script and see if Unity will throw an error. So I can, that's the only bit I need to edit, really. I guess they've maybe got a custom editor. Yeah, you can't edit package files though, because they just get rebuilt whenever you open Unity, so all these edits get undone. As much as I'd like to edit it directly, and then sometimes putting it into your assets folder means that it's relying on some internal stuff, but we might be safe. I guess it's a runtime script. Oh, it's probably part of my map tools. Let's put it in my map tools. Okay, create mono behavior, spline instantiate with bookends. Extended spline instantiate. Let's do that. I think that's one of the things I wish they would do in their package code is make a ton of their methods virtual classes so that you can extend them and customize just like some entry points into the methods. That would be a really nice approach for them to make, but I don't think they're going to do that. Okay. Does this throw a ton of errors? 1. Yeah, it's using an internal piece of code. Maybe we can get access to it? No. So that kind of throws us out of the window, I think. Because it's relying on a spline. We could put this in this inner spline. Okay, we can make it an assembly. Okay, let's try this. Just let's try a tiny little hack. I miss when you were able to type things in here. Where is it? Where is it? Where are the assembly definitions? Is it script? It's probably a script thing, right? Assembly definition reference. There it is. Okay. Spline ref. And then as long as that's not horribly marked, is it an editor script? If Unity editor, shoot. Okay. Oh. Yes. Yes. Yes, we got away with it. Oh, yes. Okay. What was it called? Get prefab or something? Prefab index. Get prefab index. Great. Let's not use that. So we basically just want 3 pieces. We want current index. Oh. Hey, thanks for watching. We're actually probably going to wrap up pretty soon here anyway. We've been going on for a while. I'm just going to try and get this functioning. So we should move we should rename this to m_current bookend index. Which would just be 0. What does that index mean? Is that just where it is? I think that's just where it is. Which means we may not even have to do this call. Got it. That one. So we're basically going to just try and replace the item instantiate list here, so that we can just return like our 3 items, and we have to make sure they would be set. But essentially, we don't really care about probability. We can just remove that. Item middle, and then m_item bookend B. Then item middle equals null. And we just throw an error, basically. Okay, that's that one. Okay. Is that it? I think that might be it. We have to figure out how to get it to return. Yeah, and that's just it, is we just get it to return the right item. So for now, we'll just return bookend A. Actually, item middle. There we go. That's fine. We'll worry about that in a minute. Okay, we'll need to customize the editor for this, but this is fine. So for A, we use our restaurant awning corner. And then middle. There we go. Sick. Ah, there we go. Excellent. Yes, and then the number is exactly what I thought it was, which is how many are in between. Okay, I don't understand the spacing piece, but that's fine. And that should be how we pick which one to use. Okay, so there we go. Okay. So basically, if index equals 0, we use m underscore bookend A. If index is equals m underscore instances dot count -1, we use bookend B. Otherwise, we use the middle piece. Okay. I wonder if that will give us what we want. Well, let's use the middle piece. over there. Interesting. Oh, okay, but it's going to do it across... It's not doing it on a per spline basis. That's where we're going to have an issue. Okay, so it can't do it for more than one spline. That's fine. Oh, interesting. Okay. Oh, it's not even changing. Why is that? Okay, I'm clearly missing something here. We're getting close though. I think I can get this to work. I may leave this here for now and do this a little later off stream. I think we've got a really good starting point for this building though. Just gotta figure out why that's not working. I wonder if we add another spline point, if that like fixes it. No. Okay. Oh, there we go. Okay, it just needs to refresh those pieces, I guess. Oh, it looks like that edge piece didn't update. I guess I didn't export all of them. That would explain why it wasn't showing up a minute ago. There we go. There we go. Weirdly, it doesn't place the last piece. I just set it to that. Will that work? I don't know how to get the last bit to show up. But that's pretty good. We've got a bookend system, at least from the beginning. Actually, I think we just do this. Put that up there. Oh, that'll probably work. If index is greater than or equal to instances.count. Otherwise, transform. Well, that's in the spawn. So that should work. I really, yeah, I'm curious why this last end bit isn't working properly. I think there's just a bug in this code because there is always like a little bit weird behavior with the last item that I've noticed in the past, or the first one. I can't quite remember how, but there is a weird edge case thing happening. So maybe I'll look into this. Yeah, okay. I think I'm gonna leave it here. So I'm gonna take a break. I'll come back to this off stream, but I think we made a good start. By the next stream, I'm sure I'll have this finished. Yeah, I think we're going in a good direction with this. So, thank you for joining me. I really appreciate it. Try and do more of these. I'm going to try and do more of these as I can. We'll see. But yeah, if you've enjoyed it, let me know in the comments. If you've got any questions, also let me know and I'll try and answer them. Otherwise, I've got a new video coming out some point during the week, so stay tuned for that. And yeah, thanks for hanging out with me today. I'll see you guys again next time. Bye.